important.
Welcome everyone to this very quiet episode of D&E, the siblings who communicate with each other because they are the siblings. This is episode 16.
I thought it was
And
17. We did 16 last time.
wait, the time is irrelevant. Numbers do
Ha!
not exist.
For
Oh.
once, I remembered the freaking timing. Okay, so this episode, we're going to be talking about the Backyardigans, i.e. Kendrick Lamar.
Yes, Kendrick Lamar. We're going to be talking about... Okay, can we talk about Kendrick Lamar for a second?
Yes.
Actually, for the rest of the next hour. So I have listened to many rappers in my life. I'm a big fan of many rappers. Pusha T is one I love a lot. I love Joey Badass. He hasn't done a whole lot recently, but he's an amazing rapper. I like Denzel Curry. He did an amazing cover of Bulls on Parade by Rage Against the Machine. And I caught his album Zoo, which is a really good album. I also really like Run the Jewels. If you like a really like militant revolutionary rap, check them out. They're great. Only caveat is that Killer Mike, aside from being a Bernie Sanders supporter, did make a video for NRA TV a while ago talking about how important gun ownership is, and I'm like, Mike, what?
Not ideal, bro. Not ideal.
It's like having like a giant ass mole in the middle of your otherwise perfect face. It's like, buddy, no. Kendrick is still the best one. Like, he's still the best one. Like, he's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, how are you introduced to Kendrick Lamar?
Well, first, I was thinking about this all day. I'm like, I gotta start with this. It's important that we, in the platform that we have here, of all the 2 to 3 people that we are able to communicate with in these episodes.
If I can remember to share the videos to Facebook, which is where most of the views come from.
Yeah. In all of this platform that we have, it's important to recognize that we are not the target audience of his music.
Of course.
And it's something that he's been struggling with a lot, actually. We were talking about this in one of my classes, and that is the only way that I know about this because, I mean, I don't like click on the links. I don't have Snapchat, so I can't click on those like tabloid links that take you to various celebrities' newses. I don't go on Twitter anymore, and I don't click on celebrity stuff on Instagram. I watch videos of people cleaning the insides of cars because it's very relaxing to me.
I just cleaned the inside of my car. Holy shit. Oh, dude, therapy for days.
I know. So I really do not interact in terms of like, I don't even go on Genius Lyrics and learn what the artists meant, you know, because I feel like sometimes you should try first to think of it yourself. And so I guess
I never do that. Yeah.
I feel like the first time I was really introduced to Kendrick Lamar was one of my friends in high school. Andy was like, these are my favorite songs. And he's a pretty chill guy. He loves films. We always like, he's got like movies, right? But and Andy's the coolest. And he was like, these are some of my favorite songs. The really inappropriate songs that I somehow know all the words to, even though like I've never been in a situation like Pitbull and like Hotel Room by Pitbull. And Black Skinhead by Kanye. You know, these are the songs that make me feel it, man. And Backseat Freestyle. And I was like, what is Backseat Freestyle? And then he was like, what? I think that was one of the first times I actually ever interacted with Kendrick Lamar's stuff is because of the recommendation that I got from Andy about Backstreet Freestyle. And I was like, this is poppin'. What the fuck is going on here? And another time, one of our friends of Andy's and mine, Parker, said that he went to a Kendrick concert. I was like, I still haven't listened to much Kendrick. You know, I've only really listened to what Andy suggested I listen to. He was like, I can't believe you haven't heard more of his stuff. Like, I went to one of his concerts and they played, you know, Good Kid, Mad City. And when it got to the part where he goes, yuck, 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 everybody in the fucking concert was like, jump, 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 but also like scream, scream, scream. And it was amazing. And I was like, the high that you are describing to me is what I wish for this. I'm gonna look this up right fucking now. And ever since then, I just kind of was like, and then I got like the Damn album on vinyl. And I just listened to every single song over and over and over again. And it was so good.
I haven't listened to Damn much, admittedly. I listened to
Damn
DNA a
is
whole lot because I love DNA.
Damn is real choice. It's
I
real good.
I like it just fine. But my thing is, so I came at this at a much different point in my life, I think, than you
Mm-hmm.
did. I actually got introduced. Kendrick blew up when I was in college. So like his first big hit was Swimming Pools,
Mm-hmm.
which was an anti-drinking song disguised as a drinking anthem, which chef kiss, beautiful.
Well, it wasn't
Oh,
just an anti-drinking song. It was also a alcohol abuse is rife
yes,
in
totally.
any of these situations in my community in Compton.
Oh
This is
yeah,
a
totally.
serious problem, and I have struggled with it.
No, 100%. Yeah.
So cool.
Like that's like that song
I'm
is
not cool.
so like brilliantly crafted and
Yeah.
wonderful. And like I was at a point where I was really softening up to rap. I'd been in a very transitional point in my life because like that was around the time of my anxiety first picked up.
Yeah.
And so I realized I had to really evaluate who I wanted to be as a person. And there was this guy on YouTube I discovered called the Rap Critic, who, like, I used to think that rap was just like the bad music that I heard on the radio that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But
You
then you
thought
get
rap
this
was
guy.
pop.
I thought rap was pop. No,
Garbage.
rap is not pop.
Absolute
And if you call it that, then
garbage.
stop. No,
No.
no. So no, but like he introduced me to like a lot of really, really good artists. Joey Badass, like I was talking about, Pusha T, who did a really good song called Nostalgia with Kendrick Lamar. And if you haven't heard that song, it's primo choice Kendrick, beautiful Kendrick. Um, and I remember listening to Good Kid, Mad City. Um, and I guess up until for a few years, I'd only listened to Swimming Pools because I love that song. But then I listened
Song is so
to,
good.
I know, but then I listened to the whole album just once. I was in my room after I graduated college and I listened to the whole album. And I was like, I think the song that really turned me on to who Kendrick is, I forget what it's called, but it's the All My Life I Got Money and Power. I remember
That's
listening to that song.
Backseat Freestyle
Oh,
by
okay, yeah, good.
Andy's favorite song.
Like I remember listening to that and just thinking, this
If
song
my
is
dick was big
something
as the
else.
Eiffel Tower, I could fuck the
The
world for
world,
72
72
hours.
hours. Martin got a dream. Kendrick got a
It's
dream.
it's
It's
so important, and we'll probably talk about this later, but to acknowledge his flow.
yes. That's the thing. It's not just his flow. It's his flows. Because my dude just like he's a chameleon. Like
The way that he changes his voice to represent characters is like
100%.
the
Yeah, totally.
verbal equivalent of everybody in videos putting on a t-shirt to signify that they're their mom, or like a
Or Jay
t-shirt on their head.
Versace. Or Jay
Yeah,
Versace just put like a wallet on top of his head. It don't bite.
like the fucking the one, like the ball with the static, like, oh, I like your accent, where are you from? I'm Liberian.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
sorry. I like
sorry.
an accent.
Like, that is like the way that he imitates voices, and not that they're like super good. It's the way that he does it that like really communicates the picture. You get the
Oh yeah.
sense that he is translating a scene to you, but it's through his lens. It's
That's what
great.
I appreciate the most about him is like what you said about scenes. So like his stuff, I feel like just saying that like my dude makes good music, it's a fact, right?
It
But
is
he
a
also
straight fact.
but
It's
also
true.
and now we gotta get to like oh, I don't know if I want to call it my favorite album because like I have other albums I listen to more than it. But
What, of his or in general?
no, like in general, like
Oh,
because
okay.
so I remember I slept on To Pimp a Butterfly for about 3 years or so. I didn't listen to it until like maybe like late 2018, uh, like early 2019. Um, and I was like driving around in my car, and I remember just sitting back after it was done and thinking, this is considered arguably the best album of the 21st century, and I still don't think it gets enough credit. Like,
It really doesn't.
oh my God. Here's my
That
thing about that album, right? That album, I don't just consider it an album, I consider it like an audio drama
Yeah,
because there is
he
so
does
much
that.
happening.
He does that also in Good Kid, Mad City.
Yes,
He
100%.
he really does that there.
Yeah. like because I love that I love that Good Kid is because like Section 80 I think it's a good album, and if you're gonna get into Kendrick I do still recommend listening to it because it ends with my personal favorite Kendrick song, which is High Power.
Ooh,
um
I don't think I've heard that album yet.
it's so it's a little shaky. It's not as I say shaky, it's not as good as Good Kid, Mad City or To Pimp a
Mm-hmm.
Butterfly, which no other album is, right?
You can't compare
Can't
even
compare.
his own stuff to his own
Here's my thing,
stuff.
like the thing is like Section 80 I think I like it because it's a bit more of like a straight up like rap album, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
it's more it's more like a musical thing, and you get to hear Kendrick not like super refined artiste Kendrick, but you're
Yeah.
like everything is there.
Mm-hmm.
He's not there yet, but he's getting there, right?
I love feeling that progression.
Oh dude,
A
it's
lot. You can feel that with a lot of artists, and it is very, very.
yes.
It is much. It is much to feel that
I
progression.
was watching him perform High Power live, and then I jumped to him performing Damn live, and I'm like, my boy grew up. He he has he's performing at a friggin' like convention center, and there's all these people on a friggin' fire net behind him, and it's so good.
Yeah,
Kendrick, my boy Kendrick.
doing
No,
amazing
so like
stuff.
my thing about To Pimp a Butterfly is like I I think it um I feel like it's probably his most intimate album.
Mm-hmm.
Um it, I we talked about earlier that like it his music is appealing now to people that are far outside of his target audience, far outside of the
Yeah,
people he intended to uplift with this music.
yeah,
And so I feel like when I listen to this, I appreciate that it is not an album I can place myself into. It is entirely about his experience in his life.
yeah,
And I appreciate that he had well the connections and the funding, but also like the resilience um and the fortitude to tell this story because it is a very riveting
yeah,
story. And I appreciate that he's going into all these explorations about, you know, how much power do I really have if I can't protect the people that I love, and if I don't protect the people that I love, what kind of person am I,
yeah,
you know? And I love that, like, you know, it's like it's just it's like the problem with this album is it's hard to talk about because
yeah.
like
I was just about
yeah,
to say, it feels like, how can we talk about this
well,
album?
because the problem that I
No,
have
no,
is
no.
that
Wait, let me finish.
every
Let me
component is
let me
amazing.
finish.
You
Yeah,
can't pick
like,
one.
how can one how can a mortal talk about this album? That's really what I'm trying to say. How can a mere mortal talk about this album? I'm really, really, well, not just this album, but this work. He's so. Can we compare him to Mozart yet? Like, is that okay?
I
Like,
think we can. Yeah.
I really feel like, you know how Damn got an award, and a lot of people felt like it was because To Pimp a Butterfly didn't get an award, and they were like, we
We
need
need
to
to
give
give To Pimp a
Kendrick an
Butterfly an
award.
award.
Can we give both of, like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
The thing about Kendrick is a really important rapper, right?
Yeah.
Because I think he is the rapper that made a lot of people finally realize that rap is art, right?
Yeah.
You know, I because like we grew up in the same household, but I
Mhm.
never realized that I was benefiting from looking like a white person until I became an adult and encountered people who were obviously not white. And I
Mhm.
realized that we had been socialized and raised in very different ways, and that I did not understand what it was like to be in that place. And the most effective that's why I love All American Badass by Joey Badass so much, which he dropped in the wake of I think he dropped in the 2017. So like in the infancy of the Trump administration.
Mhm.
And I love that because that album was about him recognizing that he has power and he has like this ancestry of people who fought to get him where he is, but wondering how the heck he's even supposed to start, you know? And I
Yeah.
appreciate that album because it's just him talking about his fears and his feelings and about his plans for the world and stuff. Um, and like that's something that I think rap will always have over really any other genres because ultimately it's one person speaking to you.
Yeah.
they're speaking rhythmically to you, but they're speaking to you. And that's a very depth, like that's a depth of connection that I think is really difficult to attain anywhere else. Like there's some people who can make you feel like that by playing a certain way.
Yeah.
A lot of people say that David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, the guitarist, who is a truly gifted guitarist, he can play one note that just floors you, right? Um, and then what I really love, Drum, Big Baby Drum. Like he has a really good song on Coloring Book by Chance the Rapper called Special, which always makes me cry. It's a beautiful song. Um, but like Kendrick, you on you, like torturing himself with you know, shit talking himself, tearing himself down over the deep, true like failures he feels he's had.
Hmm.
And then like the full arc from that to and specifically like the live version. And I love that like at the end of the live version that like a fight breaks out in like the thing, and then he breaks it up and he's talking about like, no, we're not going to do that. Like preaching this message of like, no, like we can't do it. We got to take care of each other and stuff. And I love like the twist at the end where like he's been talking to Tupac Shakur this whole time, and Tupac goes on that whole thing about, oh yeah, we got to eat the rich and stuff. Um, but I love that like that like we as lefties talk about like eating the rich semi ironically, right? But like,
Not really.
I know, but like I don't think we literally mean eating the
Speak
rich,
for
but
yourself.
literally like this. Well, fair enough. Eat the rich. No, but my thing is like I love that like when they're talking about eat the rich and like all that stuff, that's a that's not an experience that's meant for us. Like
Yeah.
that's meant for um like I think that really is meant for Black people. And I also really applaud him for sharing that because that's a very deeply personal um struggle that like we as people who either identify as white or were raised or socialized that way, we were not taught about the struggles of Black people and the
Hmm.
continuing struggles of Black people. Like we were taught about a couple especially harrowing parts of American history. But
Yeah.
beyond that, there really isn't a whole lot
We were
unless you want to.
told, don't worry, racism died with
Hey,
MLK,
I
as if
remember.
he were the problem.
Oh my God. There was I remember once on John Stewart, Wayne LaPierre. Remember whenever we had to listen to that guy? I got he was talking about. Oh no, I think it was somebody else. Was talking about. Um, I wonder, those of Martin Luther King if he'd had a gun. I wonder what would have happened to
I
or how much easier
remember
it would have been.
that.
And then John Stewart just goes, yeah, what happened to that guy? Like I love the album because like it's him recognizing his role and his power and then struggling with it. And like that's the kind of thing where it feels weird to be talking to you about this. But,
No,
it's like
it's also very specific because he's alone. That very much comes through.
yes.
He is struggling with this because, and they talk about that a little bit, just a bit in Good Kid, Mad City.
Yeah.
Like you are struggling with this, and it's you. You are struggling with this. No other artist is getting like this with you right now. You
Yeah.
are being pulled in a million different directions, and it's not your fault, but some people think it is, and some people you think it's their fault, and it's confusing and chaotic and nasty and horrible, and you're not getting paid nearly enough because, especially because you're Black, and it's
Hmm.
like
Hmm.
fucked up. You can really
Yeah. Yeah.
feel like the levels of desperation and loneliness, the anxiety of making a mistake, and I don't have anybody to ask about this. It's
Yeah.
just
Because like,
horrible.
well, that kind of ties into something else, which we were just writing a paper about this, a generational poverty, right? Um, like a lot of people don't realize that it's not that Black people were like, it's not that, oh, it was hard for them to vote in the South in the 60s. No, they were literally
It
barred
was
from federally
illegal.
subsidized home
It was
loans. Like they
illegal.
weren't even allowed to like own houses. They were kicked out of their projects to make way for like for highways. And then when
And
white people,
who forced them out of regular homes and into the projects in the first place? And
indeed,
who
well,
forced them into this country in the first place?
Emma said it. I didn't get there, but she got there for me.
That's what
Yeah.
I'm here
Well,
for.
and it's telling too. Like we're talking about Kendrick, who is like, I mean,
I
like,
love him.
we're talking about the themes of his music. That's not to say that like there's nothing else. His music fucking slaps. Like holy
His
shit.
music is so good. That's one of the things that I was trying to get at with talking about his flow and talking about his like the way he does his voices.
Yeah.
It really pulls you in. There are some rappers where you're like, this is the stupidest thing. I don't even know what to describe it that I've ever heard. And I'm looking at that one guy dressed like a Skittle who is now like,
Oh God, no, we don't have to
you
talk
know,
about
in
that guy.
jail.
We're not gonna
That's
call. We're
what
not
I
gonna say
mean
his
is
name.
like, I don't
Yeah.
need to listen to that to know
Actually,
that,
he's not
like,
in jail.
look,
He was in jail, but they released
whatever,
him because of
whatever.
coronavirus. Now he's on house
My point
arrest.
is, I don't need to listen to that because in the 4 seconds that I've ever listened to any of that person and the various other people in my head that come to mind when I think of that type of specific type of terrible rap music that's overplayed. Like, I'll say it again. I was gonna say Gucci Gang, damn it. But yeah, like, I'm sorry. Are you getting ahead in the music industry, young man? Because you are a man. If a black woman did this, if a black female rapper trying to make it in your exact same industry tried to do something like this, they would laugh her out of the room and she would literally never have a future. And that comes through in the music like, ah ha ha. Then again, once again, not the target demographic.
Of
You
course,
know,
yeah.
it doesn't really matter what my opinion is about, my various dislikes for specific music.
Let me phrase it another way, and I don't
Still,
mean to
it
make this,
exists.
and I don't mean to for any black people watching this to imply that um a black American culture is fundamentally like alien to American culture. I have this saying which is American culture is half black and half Jewish, because I feel like most of like the great uh, playwrights and like directors and songwriters were either like black or Jewish, and just it seems like you got Bob Dylan, you got Steven Spielberg,
Mm-hmm.
you got B.J. Novak counts there. Is he Jewish?
BJ Novak. Yeah, I'm pretty
Yes,
sure he's Jewish. I
he
mean,
played
I
one
was I
of
was
the
gonna say
bastards.
he
So
played one of the bastards. He's probably Jewish. I think it's safe to say.
do you think he ever paid Brad Pitt? Because like apparently everybody on the
Ever
movie actually
paid him?
owed. Well, yeah, because remember, like they were owed 100 Nazi scalps, and he's like, "Oh,
Oh,
I
I
want my
thought you meant
scalps."
in real life.
Well, I was gonna make the joke that like they were actually like contracted to go scalp 100 Nazis each,
Oh, for
in
sure.
order
I
to
mean,
finish the movie.
he kind of. Oh, haha. Wouldn't that be great?
That'd be great. Anyway, no, so I am a huge fan of Middle Eastern music. I got
Oh my
really into
God,
it.
me too.
I got really into it back when I left, back when I moved up here. I
Mhm.
found out about the oud and I fell in love with the oud, and I fell in love with the doumbek. I fell in love with the yargul, which you never heard about that. Imagine if a kazoo dropped acid and got
I want to be a kazoo who drops acid. Why would you tell me that? And let
well,
me keep living in a world where that
well,
can't
well,
happen.
with 100 payments of $1, that can be you with yargul. No,
I
I
would love
love
that.
Middle Eastern music. I love Mongolian music too. But I also
Music's
feel
pretty cool.
music is great,
Music's pretty
but
great.
but I it is taking place in a culture with which I don't really have a lot of context, right? Like
Mhm.
I don't really know a lot of Middle Eastern people, um, and so I recognize that like this is me interacting with this other thing, right? This is me
Exactly.
entering another space, right? And that's kind of how I am with rap music, like I recognize that like especially because I like a lot more like socially conscious um, music, I recognize that this might not be something that is just like meant to just be good music. Like, even though I recognize that a lot of these people they do want to build like a multiracial coalition of people to help them out, because like
Mhm.
you can't. It's like that's the problem that Kendrick faces in To Pimp a Butterfly. Like he feels very alone, and by the end of the album, he's starting to like build these connections with people. These really strong, lasting connections with people. Um, And so like I try not to judge it as, you know, just plain old music. I try to recognize it as part of another like canon of music.
Yeah.
And if I want to learn the canon of that music, I can, because there's a lot of really good stuff out there. Like holy
Mhm.
shit. Um, but yeah, you want to just talk about how hard his freaking music goes,
This
like the
music goes
music
so
quality.
hard. I have things to say. Also, first of all, he does such a wonderful job of making his voice exist in your head.
Yes. Oh my god.
And in specifically, I was just listening to a couple songs here and there because I was like, these are my favorites, and I want to listen to them really quick. So yeah, so I was listening to Fear on the Damn album. Get it? The Damn album.
The damn album.
All right. Okay, so that was the one
Adderall.
vaudeville slapstick I'm allowed to do per episode. Did it. We're moving on. Yeah, it's the third or fourth, I think it's the third song left on, it's to the end of the album. And it is like some of his albums are like lightly traumatizing. You just sprinkling in some gunshots, sprinkling in some people dying. And you know what? I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that for like myself, it's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to listen to his stuff. And it's one of the reasons why it goes so hard, because it is honest. And not totally in the way that glorifies violence, not in the way that like, you know how like, you know, honestly, MIA sampled the beginning of Straight to Hell.
Which song did she sample that on?
I don't know what her song is, but I know that Straight to Hell, it's the beginning of the song. It goes into hers. I was in the car once with David and Leo, and they were both like, is this that MIA song? I was like, what the fuck? This is such an iconic punk song. And you guys are asking me if it's a pop song. And I played it right after the one that I had been playing, Straight to Hell. And the chorus is, all I want to do is pop, 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 like gunshots, but they're really loud, and they're like the racking noise, like the shell clatters and everything. And it's also a TikTok sound now. It's trending on a lot of various spheres. And I'm like, how dare you? It hurts to use like the fucking gun noises as the percussion. How dare you sully drums like this? Percussion deserves its own medium.
Darbucha, damn it, Darbucha.
I'm sad.
My thing is like,
but I mean, Kendrick doesn't do that.
No, he doesn't,
it's story specific, which is.
I like that because like, that's something that I also never really got about like. I mean, I get why, because of racism, but I never really got why like people thought of like Biggie and Tupac. I feel ashamed to say this. I have yet to listen to any Tupac. Anyway,
I haven't listened to any Tupac yet.
But I've listened to some Biggie, and like
Biggie's so good.
Biggie is fucking amazing. R.I.P. Biggie.
Oh, I have a funny thing to say really quick. Okay. One time, David was listening to various rap songs, and he went from one of Biggie's songs to one of Tupac's songs, and I instantly started laughing, and I'm like, that's a little fucking ironic. And he was like, what, why? And I was like, what do you mean, why? He's like, why? What did the song say something? And I'm like, no, we went from a Biggie song to a Tupac song. And he's like, what is that? What is Biggie and Tupac? What do they have to do with each other? And I was like, what do they have to do with each other? I was like, how do I explain to this man this entire? I don't even know what to say.
How did that boy survive infancy?
He literally, a cassette tape got stuck in their Toyota van, like growing up. You know what the cassette tape was? It was NWA Straight Outta Compton. And he knows every word of that album because it was the one thing they could listen to in the old car. That is hilarious.
Holy shit.
I know. No, so this boy is very white, but at least he knows every word to NWA Straight Outta Compton.
And including a few that he probably shouldn't, but anyway. No, so like like they would talk about like oh these lyrics are promoting violence and disrespecting women and no,
Disrespecting
they're
women.
talking about their life.
Where are
Oh my
you
God,
when it comes
Nas,
to
Nas,
questions
Nas,
of?
Nas's Illmatic, which is one of the best albums ever made. Period.
Is
Changed
it
my
by
mind.
Kendrick?
No, Illmatic by Nas.
Oh, I'm sorry.
One of the best albums. If you haven't
I
listened
don't
to it,
know. I don't know a ton of current music or general rap music as much
well,
as I should.
Illmatic was Nas's first album. It was one of like the great '90s boom bap rap albums. Really good album.
Okay.
But it starts off with him talking about with New York State of Mind, which has one of the best beats ever. You'll probably listen to it one day. You'll be like, Desmond was right. It's one of the best beats ever. But it's him talking about, like getting involved in like some shooting in the city and all this stuff.
Mhm.
Like you can take that at face value and be like, you're like, he's promoting. No, he's talking about his life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Like,
What about any of this makes you think that this song is going to perpetuate it and is not actively calling out a symptom of white supremacy?
yeah,
Like what
these are,
about this
yeah,
situation
I
makes you
know, yeah.
think that it's
Okay,
not your
speaking of
fault?
calling out white supremacy, we got to talk about the album that got me like to properly the song that got me to properly uh listen to Kendrick stuff, and that's fucking DNA.
Okay, DNA
is incredible.
I don't have words right now.
There was so that guy, the rap critic I was telling you about, right?
Yes.
So he makes like a top 10 best rap song list at the end of the year, and he did DNA as the best song of the what it was 2017 that the Damn came out.
Probably,
Um,
yeah.
he was talking about how this song is great, and then it cuts to him and he goes, and yo, the beat change, I'm not even gonna play it for you, you gotta go listen to it. The beat change, oh my God. I remember listening to it and thinking, wow, this is a really good song. That the beat change happens and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Oh God, it got better, it's getting better, holy fuck. I'm not ready for this. So goddamn good. We're really, really good. And I love that like he was inspired to make that song because Fox News listened to All Right,
Yup.
and they
Yup.
fucking
I
sucked
don't
at
like it.
analyzing it.
I don't like it. And I quote.
Which ironically is how I would describe Fox News.
All Right is one of the best songs.
That's a really good song though.
That line too that they call out on Fox News.
He's
literally saying they want to kill us in the street dead, faux show. And she goes, I don't like it. I don't like it. He also doesn't like it. That's why he sang about it. He's bringing attention to the fact that there's systemic murder and racism within the community that he lived in and grew up in. And I think we're on the same page, bitch. When we say that we don't like it, we don't like it either. What part of that lyric makes you think that we are enjoying this fact right now?
I don't even get like offended at these people. I mean, of course, because
so
they're not targeting me.
Debased from reality.
But I don't get offended when they have these like screeds against things, because I can sit back and just like with Ben, right? I'm like, did you actually listen to it?
Do you actually have any context at all? Or are you given the headline?
No, but
you're given the tone that you need to go for,
let's
and then
listen,
you need to just
let's just listen
vibe.
to the song. The line is, "We hate the popos because they want to kill us," and I'm like, doesn't that make sense?
Doesn't that make you a little bit anxious?
And I'm like, wait a second, he doesn't hate the popos because he wants to commit more crimes. It's because they keep what? It's, I don't know, whatever.
Yep.
So yep. I want to say thank you, Fox News, for inspiring one of Kendrick's best songs. I mean, he had to do it to him, and he did, and it was really good. Oh my God, it's so good.
Absolutely mind blowing.
But I love that, like, like it's like how like Don Cheadle in the music video. By the way, Don Cheadle with a silver beard, impeccable. Holy shit, looks like friggin' royalty. Oh my God. But like what he says DNA stands for is like, I love that like when Kendrick is rapping about DNA, it could mean both like his skin, because he's specifically like fighting against white supremacy, which Fox News has some opinions about, I think.
Apparently.
And but also the thing that Don Cheadle, the Dead Association, he's talking about all the people that he's known who have passed away. And I think it might also be a lot of those people were probably shot by the cops. And that's why he's responding to that specific line
Yeah.
that they called out in the song. He's like, this is what I'm fucking talking about, you assholes.
And there's also, like the DNA specifically, like, it's come out not recently, but relatively recently in the grand scheme of things. And
It happened after the Bronze Age, so like relatively recently,
relatively recent. Within the past 10 years, I don't know for sure, but people have realized that trauma is encoded in DNA. And that's one of the reasons
oh my God,
why Black people, especially Black people in this country, are more likely to have depression, anxiety, PTSD,
heart disease,
more likely to have heart disease, more likely to have, I don't know if this is anything specific, I haven't checked it out, sickle cell anemia.
Actually, yes, it is a thing.
Yeah,
Black people are much more likely to have sickle cell and heart disease.
Yeah, I know specifically sickle cell, but I don't know if that's related to trauma being encoded in DNA. It could be.
It could be.
Fuck.
Hey, Emma, did you know that if you lock generations of people in poverty, their health suffers?
I would never have suspected that.
Yeah, neither would I.
Yeah, then there's that
they
one
need,
that
they
one
need to
news
pull
article.
themselves up by their bootstraps, man.
Oh god, lick the boot, lick the boot.
The boot, das Boot.
So one of the, I really like Fear. I don't like
I have
it.
to listen to.
It's
I have to listen to Fear again because I haven't heard Fear in a while. Actually,
it's from the point of view of, I assume, his mom, because once again, I have, or at least a mother figure, because I have not done like the Genius lyrics or whatever, so I don't know if there's any specific thing that's like, this is the person that he is talking about, but it comes off as though it's his mom, and she's just, I say she. He does such a good job of showing that he's trying to be his mom vocally that I'm calling him.
Yeah.
I'm like literally saying that she's a character in the song. He
underrated voice actor, actually, now that I think about it.
So good. The lines are over and over again. I beat your ass if, I beat your ass if, I beat your ass if. Like this. And one of the lines that really, when I first listened to it, like had the whole vinyl go around all 4 times, and I just like sat there and listened. When I was first listening to Fear, I remember almost literally tearing up at the line specific, because it was so beautiful and fascinating, the way that he gets the syllables and the half rhymes and the full rhymes and the assonance and the consonants is absolutely mind-blowing. But the line specifically that I was like, oh my god, was, I beat your ass if you tell social services he live here. I'll beat your ass if I beat your ass twice and you still here. That's like the first time in that song that the line does a half back around loop. I don't even know how to comprehend how well it's literally like without words.
It's insanity. Yeah, I love. That's a thing too that I really like. One of the first things that really caught me off guard about To Pimp a Butterfly was "This Dick Ain't Free," because his flow on that
the song, for the record, is called "For Free."
Well, for free. Well, "This Dick Ain't Free," whatever.
I loved when the first time I heard it out of context for some reason, and I just hear this girl on the loudspeaker, and I'm like, is somebody on the phone? What is happening? Because it was not in the context. I don't think I was like playing it or something for I think I was like, what's going on? And then I was like, oh fuck, this is a song? This is amazing. And that really plays into the what were you calling it? The album drama?
Audio drama.
Audio drama.
It's an audio drama, yeah.
It is a full ass, it could be a play, reimagining of a play, and the structure that plays.
Well, but I would argue too, like, part of the reason why it works so well the way it does is that it's not visual.
A play.
Yeah, like you have to be in your head to properly feel the way that Kendrick feels when he is in his head. You know what I mean?
It is for that, such a vivid creation.
It is. He is.
You can see the girl that is in fact, and it's not him mimicking a girl for that part. It's an actual other person.
Although, do we know that it's
maybe he just really pulled it out on that one impression. Kendrick. Maybe he just did that one impression really good. And
Yeah, that
nobody will ever know.
but I love like also
Yes,
can I say
always.
another thing Kendrick helped me get into fucking jazz.
Oh, jazz is amazing.
Remember how I said that like half of American culture is black, the other half is Jewish? Well, every single American musical genre was started by black people. Rock, uh, rap, hip hop. Or no, well, hip hop, rap is the vocal style. Hip hop is the music.
What about country?
Country. Um,
Can't remember.
every good American style was started by.
Oh.
I say that, but the new Casey Musgraves was actually very good. I really like the album.
Actually, I think my roommate really likes Casey Musgraves, so that's very
Casey
interesting that you
Musgraves
say
is
that.
really, really good.
Believe
Slow
it.
burn.
I
Oh,
believe it.
slow burn
Oh
is
my
so
god,
good.
I think that's what she's been talking about.
Oh God, such a good song.
Okay, anyways, focusing away from country,
No,
Kendrick Lamar.
so you got jazz and hip hop coming together, and there are
He did such, especially in the song For Free. You have this like you know how like sometimes jazz sounds like it's crashing and falling down the stairs, but in such an interesting and liquidy type of
yes,
musical way.
100%.
That's kind of the way that like the instrumental part of that song sounds before he goes into "This dick ain't free."
Like he just hops into the.
It's so good. He does
I
the
love how
beautiful
contrapuntal it is.
asymmetry.
I
The
love how
beautiful
contrapuntal it is with the
asymmetry.
this dick ain't free, and then just rapid fires, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh my God, how does that shouldn't work? It
This
worked though.
dick ain't
And
free.
I
It's
also
so
love
good.
that the second voice you hear on the album is none other than the man, the myth, the legend himself, George Fuck Mothering Clinton from Parliament Funkadelic.
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
god. Oh
Oh
my
God.
god.
So good.
Oh my god.
You know Parliament Funkadelic, right?
Of course I do. Are you
Oh
kidding
God.
me?
Oh my
I'm
God,
just trying to
dude.
remember what songs, what
He
part of the song
so
and what,
so
because I just listened to it today and I don't
I
remember.
think it's a I don't want to guess it at the artist, but
Is it
there's
the
that sample.
saxophone solo?
No,
Or is it like
no,
words?
he's the guy who's talking. He's like, "Oh, to
Who
pimp a
talking?
butterfly,"
Oh
and then
my
it
god,
jumps into
that's
Kendrick
Bill
rapping.
Clinton?
No, that's George Clinton,
George Clinton.
not Bill Clinton.
I'm
What?
so tired.
Bill
I'm so
Clinton doesn't
sorry.
sound like that. Do you think
Sorry.
that a man who
I
is
was
talking?
confused. That's why I was confused. I was like, what are you talking about? I don't think I heard Bill Clinton on this album. I'm so sorry. I actually just had a psychiatry appointment, and my doctor said if I don't fix my sleep schedule, I will lose years of my life. And then she was like, have you been having any memory problems? And I was like, no,
You know why
nothing.
you said
I
that?
can remember
Because you forgot all
everything.
of them.
I was like, I can remember everything. I'm kidding. I told her I was like a little bit, but I was like, I should have said like a lot. Yes, actually. I'm very bad at
The
remembering
next time
everything.
you see her, you need to say, "Yeah, I thought that George Clinton was Bill Clinton,"
It's
and
not
then
my fault.
and
I'm
watch her be like,
tired. It's not my
"Okay, we're
fault.
gonna lock you
It's
into
not
into a
it's
medically
not my
induced coma,
fault. It's
give
not
you
my
so much sleep."
Oh my god. That Lincoln Project video of Coma. I'll send you the link later.
I'll have to.
Everybody else, whoever watches this, please watch that fucking ad. It is amazing.
I'll have to watch it then.
Okay.
What
Anyways,
else?
Kendrick Lamar is one of the. He's amazing.
He's amazing.
I need to spend just a second talking about Good Kid, Mad City, the album itself, because
That album put him on the map.
you gave it to me via Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Christmas.
You gave me the CD, and my
Yes.
car has a CD player, and so I've got like 7 CDs. They're all in my car. Please don't rob my car. They're not worth much, those CDs.
I have way more than 7 CDs, and I think they're all still in my car.
Good. So I have like the album Somebody That I Used to Know by Gautier, Making Mirrors by Gautier.
Yes,
the
that's a good
album
one.
with somebody that I used to know on it. There's The Laws, the band that sings There She Goes.
Yeah.
I have that album. You gave that to me too.
No,
I got
I
a
left it
couple
at
more
home
things.
and then you stole it from me.
Oh, I did steal. I'm sorry.
That's
Well,
totally
I
fine.
credit you with giving it to me, so that's got to be
No,
worth
I mean
something, right?
it's a really good. You can have it, dude. It's a
These
really
are
good album.
very good albums to listen to in the car. I cannot emphasize that enough. And Kendrick Lamar. I also have like Radio Disney, and now that's what I call music. I got the two that we grew up with, so that's very fun. But like Kendrick Lamar,
Good Kid, Mad City.
he's Good Kid, Mad City. That's what you said. Cool. Yeah. Okay, cool. Yes. So I've got Good Kid, Mad City in my stereo like 90% of the time now. Every now and again, I'll switch back to now totally. That's what I call music. But like, I just leave it in there. And then, when I turn on the car, since the phone's not plugged in instantly, it just goes to the album. And I'm like, and it makes me sad to turn it off because it is really traumatizing. So I can't listen to it as much as I'd like to. And I have to skip in certain parts, on the car. It's not like you can skip to a specific time in a song and skip past, the narrative where they have that shootout and, then they find one of their friends is, I'm assuming, like lying there either dead or dying. Like, that is painful to listen to, and it's in the middle, either in the middle of the song or at the end of the song, but I can never know because I always have to skip once I get to that point when the recording ends of his mom or dad or his grandma and person. I don't know any of the specific family relations, and I'm not going to try to guess. Anyways, they are straight up, it is very, very a lot of information, and so I have to skip it. Which is sad, but it's so good. The album, you just listen to every single song in a row, and then you listen to it again and again and again, and you hear the fucking dialogue just on a loop. Hearing it on a loop is insane. Hearing, like, I'm assuming it's his grandma, and she's like, you all need Jesus because you're dying of thirst. And here is the specific verse that you need to repeat in order to get Jesus in your hearts and to change the lives that you've been leading, and you hear it a bit in the beginning, but then you hear it at the end, or in my case, you hear it when it loops around again, and you understand now that she's talking about the situation in which they got into a shootout, and like she was without her car when she needed to get food stamps, and she didn't hear from him for a long time and they were worried about him, and he's realizing that he really needs to do something about his life and the direction that it's heading. And that is all coming through, and it's coming through in these narratives that you are given absolutely no prior context to. You're not supposed to have that context. That comes through very clear, and it's done very well. Like, you can pick up things, any amount of things.
I really appreciate that, like, Kendrick knows how to, and for the record, I do understand that he has more collaborators and stuff. So, and I don't mean to diminish them at all because, like, the rap is a very collaborative art form, more so than others, I would argue, especially musical art forms. But he's a really talented storyteller.
Yeah.
And he knows how to, like, switch things up and kind of get you in on, like, a musical idea you might not necessarily have thought you'd be into, like Humble, for one. I've never been like a huge fan of Humble, but
Humble
for me,
is amazing.
But that's the thing about Humble is that, like,
I love that song.
You think it starts so fucking weird and the beat is so weird, but like he rides it like a friggin' motorcycle.
He does a great job with it.
Oh yeah, it's really good.
I really like the beat personally. I didn't know much of his really other stuff at that point, so I had nothing really to compare it to. I didn't know that that's one of his, I don't want to say mainstream, but it's one of his more mainstream songs.
It's one of his more popular songs, I'd say.
Yeah, it's, what I mean is, like, the beat is stable and there's no jazz falling down the stairs. There's no interruptions of, like, you ain't even buy me no Brazilian. Like, there's no girl popping in being like, Kendrick, if you do not pay for the thing that I need right now, which has happened in 2 of his songs, in Love Game with Eminem and him and I think somebody else. Maybe it's just Kendrick. There's this moment where he's talking about how he's talking about this girl who she's cheating on her man's, I think, and so she brings a man over and they're in the bathtub together and she pushes us under the water because her grandma is at the door and he drowned under the water. And then there's the line is where he's like something and I called you, and then it goes beep, and then it's Kendrick doing like a girl voice and it's like, Shireen is not available, now leave a message at the tone, and Kendrick, don't forget to buy 2 pairs of those expensive heels, you little fucking Ferris wheel, fucking spinning on me, fuck you think we still think something.
I think I actually do remember that one. Yeah,
and he's
that
like
was a good one.
He's like, do you really just want me for my money? And it's like, I'm not gonna knock the hustle, you know, like sugar daddy relationships and sex work is so fucking valid. We've talked about this before.
Song in WAP.
We sang this song in WAP. We talked about this with Chloe. Sex work is fucking valid, and it is such a fucking slept on form of labor in terms of nobody gives it the respect it deserves. Nobody gives it the fucking decriminalization pushes that it deserves. Nobody fucking understands the concept of having unionized strippers as much as they should, and that's sad. And like, however, for Kendrick, understanding the complete opposite situation where he's like, stop using me, I'm dealing with enough. I don't want somebody who's going to be there only when they want something from me. I get enough of that with literally everybody else in my life. I need somebody who's going to care about me. That's what I want. I don't want a sugar situation. I want an actual partner. And that's what he's explaining there. And it is very funny in that song for free. Like it comes through that he is very upset about it, but it's also, I mean, the way
I also think that like the way that like the jazz works in that song is
it's
is
so
like,
good.
It's meant to show how off kilter and like the relationship is, you know, like,
and how she comes off in his vibes, you know, like when it gets to his, it's more chill and the background is filled with a sort of steady notes, you know, like it's just kind of like or something, as opposed to the they have two very different sounds. One is clearly better than the other.
I don't know. There's so many cool things you can say about Kendrick that like kind of they just sort of like fall by the wayside when you just listen to his stuff because you're just like in all of it. Like, it's just so good.
So just to listen to it, it is literally, and I say this as we are talking about it, inexplicable.
Inexplicable.
This music is inexplicable.
You keep using the word. I don't think that would mean what you think it means.
Inconceivable.
Inexplicable.
Inexplicable.
This man is inexplicable.
Now I'm imagining not this version. Man, the music.
Now I'm imagining like a version of the Princess Bride where like the Man in Black pops up and it's Kendrick, and so like Kendrick has to have a rap battle with Inigo Montoya, and Inigo's like, fair enough, you're a better rapper than I am. Goodbye, Kendrick. Just walks away.
That'd be great. I remembered something that I really wanted to say before. So a while ago, I got in this big fight with our mom, with Lenore in the car. So great, fun times. I was like, Lenore, please don't worry. My mom is never going to ever be mad at you. We are arguing about this. I was arguing. She was upset, as she has been at various points. She doesn't like when rappers use the word bitch to describe women, and don't appreciate the fact, and she doesn't appreciate the fact that that people use the N-word so much to casually call one another. And she's also of the opinion, there was our neighbors at one point, the daughter thought she was texting her friend, but accidentally texted her mom, let me know when you're on the way, whore. Because that's how we talk to each other. That's who we are. And my mom was like, that is so, how could you ever be so disrespectful to your friends? And I was like, yeah. At the time, I literally believed it. But then as time went on.
A term of endearment, bro.
bitch is a term of endearment, not an
If I
insult.
call you bitch, it's because I love you,
It's because I
bitch.
fucking love you.
I know,
I never
never
gonna
gonna
stop
stop
loving
loving
you,
you, bitch.
bitch. And yeah, like literally in 6th grade, my friend Nikita and I were calling each other slore, a combination of slut whore, and it was funny as fuck. Because we would scream it through the hallways. We'd go slore because it's not a real word. Nobody thinks when they hear slore that somebody's saying slut whore. Now you might, but if you're hearing it in like middle school, you're probably gonna think they're saying a name or something. But anyways,
Slore!
hey slore, can you come over here?
And then the friggin' Estonian exchange student goes, yeah,
Oh my god.
hello, what?
So
Never mind.
We were having this argument in the car about the fact that a lot of rap music uses the term, not just rap music, but current music. I think this was the time period of like Wild Thoughts by DJ Khaled and Rihanna. That's all I can think of right now, but that was like the era of time that we're talking
not too
about.
long ago then.
Not too long ago. Like
Can we
late.
talk about how that song freaking sampled Supernatural by Santana or Maria by Santana, which actually itself is all about like, you know, class equality and racial equality and stuff.
Hell yeah.
But also came out when I was a kid and now it's being sampled and I'm
You feel
like,
sad about that?
I feel like I'm an
Feel
old
not
man
so
now.
thrilled about that. Yeah, so okay, so we're in the car and we're talking about this and I'm like, "Mom, first of all, you as a white person are not allowed to pass judgment on black people for saying the N-word. They reclaim that word. It's like how gay people can say about themselves and to each other occasionally like the word faggot and
Yes.
like, you know, queer. Queer has gone from a very very debilitating insult to an actual label within the community that can actively be used as are the words like dyke. A lot of lesbians call themselves that. You know, there's literally dykes on bikes is a part of pride. I'm not kidding. It is a leather motorcycle riding part of pride in the
That
parade
sounds amazing.
format.
I love that.
It actually is. And that's really cool. And you know, it's like, so like as white people, you are not allowed to
and also like
to dictate who should say that word.
and also like that's a thing where I'm like, you can have it, you know, like you want it, that's
Don't worry.
fine.
I'm not going to say it.
I'm not
I don't want to.
I'm
Not only
good
is it
with
not
it.
my place, but
I'm
that's
cool.
not. Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, can we have a brief aside too about political correctness or people who are really against it? um I I don't know what they want
People who are
because
against political
yeah, I
correctness.
don't know what they want. Like
People who are like, everything's so PC nowadays. It's like, do you want to be
my
able
thing
to
is
call me
the
the F
like the
word? Do
well,
you
yeah, word
want
the
that
F word.
so bad?
But to me, it's like, okay, but if that's what we're losing, does that matter at all? And I think the problem with a lot of
They're
these
really
people
so
is
bad.
I don't actually know if they know what they're upset about. You
Yeah,
know,
they
like
really are
that's
simply
the
just,
thing.
a lot of the times they're
It,
caught up in it.
well,
They want to
and
be able to have the safety net of, if they say something wrong, they can either say, I don't give a shit. I literally don't give a shit. And that's why I'm going to keep saying this if it makes you upset,
but
blah, blah, blah.
also I would
Versus,
also
you know,
posit that like so when you're learning about like part of confronting your implicit biases, the very first step
mm-hmm.
is feeling guilty.
Yeah.
And guilt feels the and guilt
That was a
feels
good one.
that was a very good one. I appreciate that. That was it feels very similar to shame,
Mm-hmm.
right? The
But they're
difference is
not
that
the same.
they're not the same. Guilt is constructive, but let's say you've never really felt that kind of guilt before
Mm-hmm.
and you feel it for the first time. You don't want to fucking feel it. So I
Yeah.
think a lot of these people,
Do
it's
your
not
best
just
to push it off and
which
say
is
that
weird
that's not
because
about
like
you.
what we're like I remember back when like anti-SJW stuff first became a thing back in like 2014, I think 2015, and we're still on that. And I'm like, what are you guys even upset about? Like, I genuinely don't know
It's not that big of a deal, bro. We're kind of just part of society now.
But also it's like, well, and another problem is too is like these people, a lot of them I think are just deeply insecure, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's the one
Stems
thing.
from a very incel-y place.
That's the thing too. If you are at all morbidly curious, like I am sometimes, and you actually try to watch or read some far right content, like it's uncomfortable not just because it's like dehumanizing, but because it's like, oh my
Wrong.
God, this person just feels so
So
oh,
bad. So bad about themselves, about the
I
way
don't
that
know
they
if I
live.
should be like listening to this. This feels exploitative in some way.
Yeah.
This person needs to get therapy. Oh my God, this is really uncomfortable. No,
Yeah.
but like that, oh my God, it just hit me. That I think might be one of the reasons why I think Kendrick stuff hits so hard. It's because it's therapeutic. You know what
It
I mean?
is.
And therapeutic isn't just relaxing. Therapy is supposed to be productive, and part of that is
Yeah.
feeling uncomfortable. And
Yeah.
I
And
appreciate all of these other rappers who speak so candidly about their stuff and their
experiences
life,
and their trauma.
and their traumas and stuff.
Yeah. And it's
Uh,
like, you know,
yeah,
there's
totally.
also there's the question and the worry of like trauma porn, you know, and that's when you take like um the bullet noises and you make them the percussion, you know, like that's
Yeah.
that's like a fear, you know, that there will be the glorification
Well,
of the
that's something
violence
else where
for the
like
sake of
I genuinely
violence being
wonder.
beautiful.
I wonder
But
if MIA actually has ever had like a real intense experience with
mhm.
gunshots and gun violence. Otherwise, I feel like she might not have been so eager to put that in there.
I
You
mean,
know.
that's very fair, but it's also like
But also, yeah, have people for this. Have
yeah,
fucking
I
people for
literally
this.
when I heard it, I was like, this is really fucking triggering. Change the song right fucking because I was driving on the highway. I was like, do not fucking play this right now. Why would you do this to me? I'm
Even the
driving us
word.
on the highway. We could die. Turn this off.
Can I ask a very
It was
honest
like a
question?
what?
Why does the word have to be triggering?
I
Like of all the
know.
fucking words.
Actually, I've had many a conversation and many a thought about the fact that so much of our fucking vocabulary is centered around guns and gun activity and stuff. It's pervasive.
Is
But I also wanted to say, I wanted to finish the little argument that talking about the argument that mom and I had.
yes.
So we're having this argument in the car. I'm like, Mom, you know, as a white person, it is not your place to even have an opinion on, you know, black people using the word that, you know,
Because it doesn't really affect you, right?
yeah, I mean, like I understand if you don't like the music, then you don't like the music. But the word, you are not allowed to attach any feelings of your own towards that word. You're not allowed to say it. You're not allowed to have opinions about it. It's not your word.
No, it's not.
And, you know, and not just that, but I was like, Mom, everybody calls each other bitch now. Everybody calls each other bitch now. It's not highly gendered. You know, I was talking about humble specifically. I was like, in humble, he says, hold up, bitch, be humble. He could literally be talking about anybody. Obviously, there's feminine overtones.
Okay, you know what
However,
this reminds me of? Okay,
he
so
could just be talking
so
about literally
um
anybody.
this just shows you like the mental age I am. This is the second rap episode we've done, and I'm still talking about Soldier Boy. But
Soldier Boy.
Soldier
You're gonna
Boy
bring Soldier
in
Boy
the
into this
song
again?
in Crank That, which
Yes.
it's not the only song he ever made, but it might as well be. Um no, he's talking about, he says Superman that hoe.
Yeah.
When he
It
says
originally
Superman
was
that
Super
hoe,
Soak That Hoe,
well well
wasn't
well
it?
no, Superman that hoe, he's not talking about come on the back of a woman and then stick a bed sheet to her, which would make no sense because he's teaching you how to do a dance, right? He means Superman that hoe as in strike the pose, Superman that hoe as in
Hoe
Superman
being the
that pose,
dance.
hoe being
Yeah.
the dance. And I'm like, oh my God, holy fuck. If I have never had my inadequacies pointed out so violently. Ah,
So fucking funny. Yeah, it's just really important to understand that, like, the connotation is not what a lot of older people think that it is. We have a
there's
fucking hive mind. I've
there's
said
a
it many
really
times
good
before, and I'll say it again. We have a hive mind. One TikTok, one Vine gets passed around in the span of 2 weeks to the most remote, distant corners of this country. And we all of a sudden all know what we're talking about, like Vine compilations. YouTube is a fucking, like, YouTube isn't just Florida. YouTube isn't just New York. It's the whole goddamn country. If one person makes a YouTube playlist of vines that they hope will never die, and they spread it around, might gain a lot of traction, and all of a sudden everybody's seen those vines. But we'd already seen those vines. They're popular for a reason.
Okay, speaking of TikTok, I have to ask, have you seen Lainey Gardner's cover of Dreams by Fleetwood Mac?
No.
I hadn't listened to Dreams until I listened to her cover. You should check it out. It's fucking amazing.
Okay. When you said cover, I thought you meant the album cover, and I was like, I think I've seen that. Yeah. But then again,
okay.
I didn't know.
We should wrap this up with
yes. Wait, I need to finish the conversation.
Finish the conversation.
Okay, so later after that conversation, didn't really get anywhere. I mean, we both voiced our opinions, but then we had to sit with them. And so I was like, Mom, I have Damn right here. I am going to explain some stuff to you. And I was like, do I have your permission to play a couple of songs? And she was like, how many? And I was like, 3? I could do 3 songs. And she was like, okay. Because she didn't, want to spend the whole night listening.
Play this many.
Can have one as songs. A treat. And I was like, I want to play 3 songs so as to show the varying extent to the differing ways in which he styles his songs from song to song. It's not like all of his songs are identical. That would make no sense. Like just because
that make a boring album, man.
A lot of people think that rap is all identical.
Oh, no! Those are people who've never listened to fucking rap before. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Dude, no 2 rock bands sound identical. Yeah. No two country artists. Okay, some country artists sound identical.
Okay, but listen. So the 3 songs that I picked for her were Humble, Element, and Loyalty, featuring Rihanna. And they are very different. They're very different from each other. I picked Humble because that's the common conception of rap is, like, hold up, bitch, be humble, hey. And then, there's Loyalty featuring Rihanna, which has Rihanna. And the song is like, it does a sort of like a figure 8 type of motion where it's like loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. And then she goes into like, no switching sides, there's something wrong. We should be in a line, they should go on. You know what I mean? Like it feels like very wavy. And obviously I did a horrible job doing that, but I'm sorry. And Element is like, damned if I do, if I don't, yeah. Damn is a whole goddamn na. They gonna take me in my element. Nah, take me in my element. It's just very pretty. It's very pretty. It's important.
Yeah. I want to end with the thing. Beautiful. If you're gonna be engaging in a music that is way outside your comfort zone, or getting into music that you didn't think that you could get into before, the one thing that you should do is memento mori. Remember that you are just a person, right?
Yeah. It's not your fault that if you're a white person, it's not. Get over the fucking guilt. You need to move past that in order to
a lot of white people will be like, I never owned slaves. No, you didn't own slaves, which means that you can do something about this shit.
Yeah.
That's what we're saying. You're not a slave owner anymore. We
weren't calling you a slave owner. We were upset about slavery.
Systemic freaking racism. We're not saying that you're a goddamn racist. We're saying that it exists.
However, when you say I'm not a racist, we do get a little suspicious. Looking over at this man being like, cyan kind of sus. White kind of sus.
Oh God. One of these days we're gonna have to do a live stream, and we should live stream Among Us.
We could get Ocasio-Cortez up in this bitch. See, look, I just used bitch, and I wasn't talking about
we could be
a woman.
Oh my God, we could be
talking about a podcast.
We could be the H bomber guy of siblings who talk to each other because they're siblings.
Oh my God.
Wait, do you know about that? Freaking H bomber guy was doing you ever heard of speed runs?
Speed run. Yeah.
Yes. So he was doing a slow run. He was playing.
A
He was
slow
playing.
run.
He was playing Donkey Kong 64
Oh my
to
god.
raise money for a trans charity.
Woo!
That it looked like it was a British trans charity for trans kids, and it looked like it might some shitheel brought the funding under review,
Mm.
um, and H-Bomb was pissed off at them, so he was like, I'm just gonna raise a couple $1,000. So he throws like $1,000 as like the starting bid, and then he goes to check something and looks back and they're at $3,000, and it wound up becoming this like he was playing the game for 57 hours, with sleep breaks. Don't worry,
Oh,
um,
okay, cool.
and he wound up he had someone in the call who knew AOC, and so she joined the call, and he like, and then now this clipped the portion of the video where she joins, and he's looking at something, and she goes, "Is this on?" And he just goes,
I've seen that, yeah. And he's like, is that?
and then she's introducing herself, and he's just like in the background, like,
Oh my gosh.
"No, yeah, we could do that though. That'd be fun.
That'd be great.
That'd be great."
There's so much good in everything that he brings to the table. Not H-Bomber, Kendrick. So much good that he brings to the plate.
Though for the record, same is true with H-Bomb.
He brings so much of his own lived experiences, his community's lived experiences. There's a kind of funny, sad moment in one of the songs where, in I can't remember what it's called, but it's in Good Kid, Mad City, and he's talking to this girl, and she's telling him, "You better not fucking put this in one of your songs." It's not like a real girl. He's doing the voice again, but he's like, you're writing all these stories, but you're not writing about the people that it's really affecting, like me and my sister, and like we have to do sex work in order to survive, and you better not put this in one of your fucking songs. And you're kind of like, bruh, did you financially compensate? I'm sure you did, but like
he touches on that in Section 80. Actually, he wrote a song, I forgot what it's called, but it's about like these girls who wind up in sex work, but they don't want to be in sex work, but that's like the only option they have.
Yeah.
Right. And it's a tough listen, but it's a good song. Yeah. So check it out.
Also on the topic, going way back to the beginning of the conversation, talking about swimming pools,
Drank.
Pull up.
Drank.
I think it's important to talk about, just at least briefly, fucking Ronald Reagan and the man that, I don't know if you've seen this tweet, and I really agree with this tweet, but it's I think it's like, petition to dig up Ronald Reagan and shoot that bastard one more time. And I'm like,
I don't know if there's much of him left anymore, but yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Anyways, yeah, that's kind of my that's where my head is at, and I fucking hate Ronald Reagan and everything that the fucking Reagan administration did to this country and everybody in it, and the way that life is now because of him. And yeah, anyways, my point about it is, talking about substance abuse, what community is more likely to turn to substance abuse, since they have the genetic predisposition via trauma encoded DNA to require something other than just their brain to keep them alive. They need to
and also let's also
find something to help, and sometimes they go towards alcohol, they go towards weed, they go towards heroin, because
I'm going towards like
those have been flooded into their communities too. It's so much easier to find a liquor store than a grocery store in most
my
communities
thing too is like
of color.
I don't dispute that there might be a genetic component, but I like to not even consider that.
I know.
It's like
too scary in terms of conversation of eugenics.
Yeah, we don't do that. Oh God. Just a funny reminder.
For the record, not what I mean.
No, but my thing is like, just the presence of that much stress absent any, because people don't seem to. Okay, we could go on this for friggin'
Of
ever.
course.
No,
but that's the point, is that his music brings this up.
It does. It's so good.
In gentle nuances and blatant, here's what I'm talking about. Oh God. He does it.
If you had to start with any Kendrick album, I'm going to just say start with To Pimp a Butterfly, because, I mean, I don't know if I even would say that, because, like, I started with Good Kid, Mad City, and then I went to To Pimp a Butterfly. To Pimp a Butterfly is, like, the initial shock of how good it is never wears off, so you don't have to worry about spoiling it for yourself. So I just say fucking listen to it. It's amazing.
I listened to Damn first and then Good Kid, Mad City, and I really, really liked starting with Damn because I feel like it was a more gentle transition into music that is conscious. You know, there's a lot of music that's not super conscious, and for me personally, I love listening to music, but sometimes when it feels like it's a legitimate conversation and it takes up that much emotional energy, I feel like I can't listen to it as much.
Yeah.
You know, because it's less of a song and more of a conversation at that point, which isn't a problem. It just depends on the mood that I'm in. And I really mainly listen to music when I'm driving. And if I'm driving with people in the car, I'm more likely to play lo-fi than I am to play rap, because I want to talk to the people in my car.
Yeah.
So like it's a good transition into Kendrick's music because it's a little bit more, I would say, sound music oriented as opposed to lyrics music oriented. And that's not to rag on the lyrics. That's just to add to the sound.
It's more instrumental focused than it is lyric focused, which is real.
Cool. Which is both good. It's just if you're trying to get into it and it's harder to start something when you get hit in the face by the information and the experience.
Here's how I'd break them down.
My experience.
Untitled Unmastered is a bit more experimental. It's a bit more out there, and if you want to, so if you like kind of more weird, cool conceptual stuff, that's really cool. Damn is a bit more like a straightforward oof kind of thing. Like you can tell based on the marketing, it's a much more intense album. Section 80 is just an immaculately constructed, really good album. And it also, again, it has my favorite Kendrick song in it, High Power. Good Kid, Mad City is a really stunning portrayal of like this good kid in the Mad City.
Yeah.
Right? And then To Pimp a Butterfly is potentially the best album that will ever be made. Someone's going to top it one day. I can't wait for it. But it's a stunning masterpiece, the likes of which I certainly haven't found an album that I love as much as this album. So, you know, it's in a league of its own. The fact that Kendrick can't make an album that good ever again is a testament to his abilities, because he made
You don't know. Maybe the next one he does is better.
Oh, he might.
Oh God,
actually,
he could do that too.
The next album he wants to make is a rock album.
Oh, really?
He's going to be going into rock. He's holding it off until next year, right? He's one of those guys who's delaying his thing.
I'm glad, because I don't think anybody can enjoy anything right now.
Oh, God. Okay. Well, you know what I can enjoy? I will enjoy speaking about. We're talking about Backyardigans next week.
We have to. We have to bring up the Backyardigans.
Okay. I will see.
Which will also be a musical episode.
And we're gonna postpone this for the next time.
Oh my God.
All right. Everyone have a wonderful day. Don't forget to vote. Seriously, despite what you might have.
Kids, you have the opportunity to vote against fascism.
Despite what you might have heard, this is literally it's the easiest time to vote in American history probably ever. There's more ways to vote.
I have a thread of memes on my Twitter about voting. So if you want to check them out, find them.
Twitter. Go to Emma's Twitter and then read all of her voting memes.
They're very funny. They're very funny. They're funny.
And also, let me just say too, I'm a bit of a nerd. I just think voting's fun.
Voting's kind of tasty.
You go out and you got like the people.
You get to participate in your democracy really quick. Just kind of like.
Although I will say, Jess and I went to vote on Tuesday. Where's my fucking sticker? I didn't get a sticker.
I got a sticker with my mail-in ballot, and when I dropped it off in person, I got another sticker. How do you
This is
not have a sticker? Hold
Emma.
on, I might even have them right here.
This is outrageous. You see, but the problem today is that 99% of people who go and vote do not get stickers, and this is disenfranchising all the voters who would like to have stickers, and it's
Wait,
just
are you being
horrible.
Bernie?
Was it that obvious?
No, for a second, I'm sorry. I'm really high right now. I really couldn't hold on to the fact that you were doing Bernie. Anyways, I don't know where my stickers are. Don't really remember where I put them, but I got 2, and I'm so sorry that you didn't get any. That sucks.
You got 2. That's fine. I got to vote. Emma, Justin, I told you Justin and I were.
This is my first presidential election. I voted.
Oh my god, yeah! Which this is funny. This is my second time voting for Joe Biden. Because remember when he was running for when it was him and Obama. So
Okay. Oh, I get it. This funny.
Everyone, have a good day, and remember, you don't have to read the news all the goddamn time.
You don't.
Not that much happens every day.
You can take a fucking nap,
you can take a fucking
that's
nap.
allowed.
It's okay. I guarantee that this late in the game, all we can do is fucking wait.
Yeah.
All right. Have a good night, everybody. Sleep tight. I promise everything will be okay. Listen to Kendrick.